Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a squat and deadlift day. I'm very happy with today's workout. Is that an airplane flying over? Yeah, there's an airplane flying over. I'm just going to keep this audio in. Wanted to get used to hitting depth with this bar. I just did a really easy training max. I'll be at 500 plus pounds on this bar to this depth by the end of the month. Shouldn't be an issue. I didn't want to burn myself out. I'm just trying to keep my squat fundamentals in and work on range of motion depth, just being used to having a bar on my back while I really hammer my bench press and my deadlift right now. And I wanted to not go really hard there because I wanted to save something for the deadlift. So something occasionally I get asked is, how do I warm up for deadlifts? This is my warm up. And I know that freaks people out. People are like, oh my God, that's so reckless and dangerous. 46, I don't get hurt deadlifting. That is my warm up. 500 pounds, 495. 500 pounds, that is my warm up. I've done that in competition. Not even warmed up, just did my opener before. It's fine for me. I ended up doing, though, 5 reps with 545. Locked every rep, tried to lock every rep. They weren't long locks to where I held them. I just wanted to get to that meet legal lockout, reset it, and tried to hold the last one just briefly to make sure the grip was good. Pretty happy with it. For those who heard the audio in the thing, you could hear what I have to say about it. Honestly, it wasn't 100%, meaning that bar speed was real fast on that last rep. I felt like I could have got a 6 rep if I wanted to grind it. Obviously, I don't want to do that, but realistically, that's a PR. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've ever done 5 reps on camera since I've been doing content online, which has been over a decade. I don't think I've hit that. I know I've done 3. I think I've hit 4 with that weight once before, but I've never done 5. And I did it without it being everything that I had. So I'm really, really confident about my deadlift. Just like my benching lately, I hit a rep PR on my benching this week. Bench and deadlift are coming along really nice. And my supplemental work for the deadlift is not anything extreme. I do those peak sets, and I mostly live off of stuff like my glute ham raises, reverse hyperextensions, and then rows. And the 2 types of rows I'm doing right now are done on the upper body days, so they're done after benching. But today I decided to build the squat up. I don't need to do a lot of squatting. I need to do just enough. Focus on progression on that belt squat. Went up 10 pounds on it today. Got a really good quad and adductor burn. Really good, especially the last set. Because again, I'm now doing it hands-free. There's a big difference between holding onto that. I removed the handle so that it doesn't get in the way, and I can use the low bar torso mechanics. All right, I can use those mechanics and focus on building muscle, getting the depth I want, getting the range of motion I want with that wide stance. I want to make sure my adductors come up because I'm doing wider stance squatting. This is going to build my squat. This also gets me faster off the floor on the deadlift. This will build my squat back up. Just building the musculature of the squat and getting used to having a bar on my back. So again, just for shoulder health purposes, so that people understand what I'm doing there, I don't want to deal with the straight bar. My shoulders are feeling really good right now. It's allowing me to progress on the bench. I'm doing rear delt work with bands. I'm doing pause incline benching, which really stretches that mobility that I need without hurting me. And I'm hoping over time that will get my shoulders in a spot to where they're healthy enough to do normal power bar easier without getting inflamed. But in the meantime, I just want to get strong at the squat by building the musculature and doing some heavy work, just enough to maintain it. But if I can keep hitting depth with that bar, keep the shoulder health and get the mobility improved a little bit, I feel like the squat will be where it needs to be. It's not a major focus for me right now. Not a major focus. I don't have any meets planned in the immediate future. I'm not super worried about it. But I want to get that bench. I want that 405 bench. And I want my deadlift to come up. I want to where my deadlift can stay to where I'm not having to build up to 615 or 625 or 630. I want to be to where I could pull it anytime year round. Possibly higher. I would love to get to a 300 kilo deadlift. Okay. Those things are more important to me at the moment than squatting. But that 405 bench, it's a big deal to me right now. And not just bouncing it. I'm talking a paused 405. That's what I'm shooting for. And so I am having to focus my training around those two goals. But we're not going to neglect the musculature of the squat, because ultimately that's what builds your foundation for any exercise. We can talk about neural drive all that we want. We can talk about intramuscular coordination. We can talk about these things, and they matter. But being thick in the right places is more important. People can disagree with that all they want. The data on it's pretty overwhelming. In other words, you could take a really jacked bodybuilder and can turn them into an elite powerlifter in a matter of months. Okay? That's essentially what I'm telling you guys. So, it's going to be about getting thicker. And like I said, I am doing some squat work there, but in a way that's not beating me up, allows me to focus a little more on the deadlift, and is fine for my shoulders. All right. So we ended up doing 3 sets of the glute ham raises, supersetted with a PR on 3 sets of the belt squats. I ended up doing, I think, like 11 reps on the last set of the glute ham raise. Remember when I was only doing 8s with that plate not long ago? So I'm up to 10, 10, like 11. So we're progressing there. And I may just progress on reps if I need to. See if we can get to where we do 3 sets of 12. What does that represent? That represents another deadlift PR is what that means. Okay, that's what it represents. I feel like I would have a pretty good deadlift if I tested my max right now. You know, we could extrapolate that 5 rep set at 85%. I'll plug in my calculator. You guys will probably hear me hitting it. Calculator says 640. I don't know about that. I think that's a little bit ambitious. But maybe, I don't know. I feel like I could pull 625 right now again if I needed to. Did just 3 sets of the reverse hypers. Didn't want to beat myself up too much. And then you guys can watch right here at the end of that deadlift set again. I'm pretty happy with that set, mainly because of how that 5th rep moved. Right? It was fast. It was clean. I'll take it. Take it any day. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Holy shit.